Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be. When you decided to hit that play button, welcome in. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina with Success Ocean International. We are Proctor Gallagher consultants aligned with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. That is, my wife and I, the owners of Success Ocean International, are consultants doing the work of Bob Proctor out here in the field, helping you to get from point A not just to point B. That's the other guys. We help you get from point A all the way to that pot of gold somewhere over your rainbow in your life, whatever that pot of gold may be, in the form of whole life prosperity, prosperity of life, prosperity of relationships, prosperity of health, prosperity of time and money freedom, however you define success, whatever that big goal is, whatever that big dream is. Our work is to get you there in the shortest period of time possible. Today I want to talk about the creative process in our mind, the way we are wired. You know, when we think in pictures. If I were to ask you to tell me about your home, you would go to that mental filing cabinet where you store all the images of your house, and you would walk me through it, right? You would tell me what it looks like on the outside. We'd move through the front door, because in your mind you are pulling up that image that's been impressed upon your mind of your house. If I asked you to describe your car or your last vacation, your last trip, you would pull up those mental images that are stored in your consciousness and describe that to me. We think in pictures. So, as I talk about the creative process, I'm going to share with you how we're wired, how our mind works. The problem is, nobody's ever seen the mind. When I say the mind and nobody's ever seen it, and you stop for a minute and think about that, what comes up for you? Probably you think the brain, right? Well, our brain is not our mind any more than our fingernail or our knuckles are, or something like that, or our hand. The mind is in every cell and fiber of our being, but we've never really had a picture of it. So to illustrate the creative process for you, I'm going to show you a little diagram that was originated in 1934 by a chiropractor named Dr. Thurman Fleet. He said, we don't have a picture of the mind, and to understand this creative process, we have to develop one. So what Dr. Fleet came up with is, first of all, this right here. Now, remembering, we are threefold beings, right? We are spiritual beings, intellectual beings, and physical beings. So we're going to let this top circle represent our mind. So this is mind right here, okay? And this down here is our body, this smaller circle. Now the body is an instrument of the mind, okay? There's some legs and some arms there, right? So in this creative process, we have to look at the mind and see how it's put together. So I'm going to draw a line right here across the mind, and the top part's going to represent our conscious mind. And our conscious mind is where we do our thinking. So we're going to take this, we're going to first of all make it the conscious mind up here. Hope you can see that. Can you see that? That's the conscious mind, or our thinking mind. Thinking mind. Or our intellectual mind. This is where intellect is taking place, and the faculties of the thinking mind, like perception, memory, imagination, reason, intuition, and will. And we're going to work a little bit with one of those today, imagination. Because this is where we generate ideas up here in this mind. Now down here, we have the subconscious mind, okay? So we're going to label this the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind, we can also call the emotional mind. Now, the emotional mind is a director. This is the executive office, receiving input and then directing, remember the body's the instrument of the mind, directing the body to take action in a certain way to achieve results that are held in mind. So let's look back to what I was sharing about the faculty of the mind, imagination, for a moment. First of all, we have to understand that we live in an ocean of motion. We live in a field of energy. Yes, I understand that we can't see it, but neither can the fish. The fish is in the water, and the fish is swimming all day long. And if you try to explain water to a fish, well, first of all, you think you're crazy. But the fish says, what water? What water? Because the fish is immersed in it. We are immersed in a field of energy that is always flowing. You can even think of it like if you look at the Weather Channel and you look at those jet streams always moving. Well, universal energy is like that, always flowing to and through us ceaselessly. It's infinite. Call it what you will, divine energy. Call it grace. But this flow of energy is always on, always flowing. Now, with the faculties of our mind, we take this energy that's flowing to us and we form ideas, and we develop those ideas with the power of our imagination. And as the idea is developed and we attach feeling to it, feeling and emotion to it, the seeds of that idea take root in our subconscious mind. You know, we think about 50,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of them. And our thoughts create the world that we're living in. Thank goodness it's not every single thought, but the thoughts that we hold with feeling and intense emotion, they take root in the subconscious mind. Now, remember, I said the subconscious mind, the emotional mind, is the executive part of our consciousness. It sees to it that whatever it receives as input is moved through the body. Now, let's back up a little bit, because I just said that we have 50,000 thoughts a day. Well, where are all these thoughts coming from? Well, we receive input from the world around us through our five senses. So let's back up just a little bit here and put these little sensors here on the top, because through our taste, our smell, our sight, our sense of touch, our sense of hearing, we're receiving input all day long from the world around us. We receive input from the television station, from the radio stations, from our environment, and it is just bombarding our consciousness all day long. And a lot of this is actually toxic. That's a whole talk for a whole different day. But we're receiving this input from the five senses. Through this inflow of energy, we latch on to a divine idea, or an idea, through the power of our imagination. And through the power of our will, we send that idea to our subconscious mind. This is how we create in our lives. As the subconscious mind, the executive, latches onto that idea and germinates that seed of an idea, it moves into the body. The body vibrates, okay? We live in a world of frequency and energy. The body is vibrating, and it changes the actions that we take. And as our body vibrates, this flow of the energy, let's call this universal here, this universal energy, this energy that's flowing, notices what is happening. Notice the shift in our vibration, because we're acting now, our physical body is acting in alignment with the idea that's held in mind, attached to that feeling and emotion. So over here, we have the universe moving in conditions, circumstances, and moving in into our environment, everything that supports this vibration. What we're actually doing is moving into an alignment with a vibration that supports the idea, the dream, the goal that we want to achieve in our lives. So we have this idea, we move it into the emotional mind because we attached it to feeling. The body shifts its vibration. The universe notices that and moves conditions, circumstances, and our environment is adjusted to match that vibration. See, we're not going it alone. We're all part of this field of energy. And right here, what's happening, this is where the law of attraction is taking place. The universe is moving in to support that idea that's vibrating through the body. But the law of attraction is not the primary law. The primary law here is the law of vibration. And that's a very simple way that we can look at how we can intentionally and deliberately create the world that we would love to live in. And that's the work that we do in our program that we facilitate, the Procter & Gallagher program called Thinking into Results. I encourage you to make a decision to pick up that phone, type an email, message us, leave a comment underneath this video, and let us know that you would like to schedule a free consultation. We'd love to have a talk with you about your big dreams, your big goals, your wishes, your desires, your aspirations to get you from where you are now all the way to your own pot of gold somewhere over your rainbow. So do that. Call us, schedule a consultation, and hopefully we will move you quickly into our program, Thinking into Results. And you will see results through this process that we go into in detail in our program, holding your hand, so to speak, to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. This is Stephen J. Kosmina with Success Ocean International, Procter Gallagher Consultant. Thank you for looking in today. Blessings.